put your hands together for one of our returning storytellers, Mr. David James.
Thank you very much. As of recently, I've had a great opportunity to explore some artistic endeavors, if you will. I've gotten into photography lately, and it kind of came from, I was always the kid who carried a camera with him everywhere, and then as of late, I realized, I'll start carrying it if you start paying me. So, why not make a little money? And I allow the great things that I do for the parties and the things along those lines to be able to pay for the art, the models, the expression, the studio space, and everything along those lines. So I had stepped out a little bit from some of the fashion shoots and the weddings that I had been doing, and I had a model friend of mine who wanted to, we had partnered on some art projects as well. Her name is Rachel. And she truly is like a Farrah Fawcett incarnate, if you will. All right, so for all of you who are too young to know who that is, a Giselle incarnate. Good, a few more nods, excellent. Okay, so, just absolutely stunning, but she has been studying acting in New York and really taking it very, very seriously. So she wanted to truly explore. Did I just cut that off? Anyway, check it real quick. Can you hear me okay? No, I can speak up. Hello, hello. Here, hold it. So anyway, I'm not shy, so you can hear me, right? Basically, we partnered up on an idea. She wanted to explore what she called some dark themes, where basically it's just quiet or being able to sit still, really great black and white photos and things along those lines, just to really try and capture moments. But the whole point wasn't necessarily to model, turn your cheek, turn here, look up, look down. It was that she was really going to express. So we put on appropriate music. At times I gave her settings. So it almost was like modeling improv. And we took this, what I feel is one of the best photos, I think, that I'm comparing all the rest of my art to for the rest of my life. I framed it, I put it in the spare bedroom, if you will, / office / place where you do all the ironing in our house. you know that room, right? And sat it there, and I just leaned up against the bed for a full year. And because as extroverted as I may seem here, I'm very introverted when it comes to my art. But it took me a full year to be able to say, you know what, I think I'm finally going to do something with this. So I took it to Chester County Art, which is just right down the road, a fantastic place if you've never had a chance to go there, but a great, absolutely. And they had a juried show. So that means that someone was going to be able to come in and decide if your work was worthy enough to be in one of their shows. I was really excited. I was really hopeful because I had connected so much with this photo, and I would like to have thought that somebody else would too. It's basically, I'll describe it, but it's basically she's sitting on a stool, just in shorts, a black t-shirt, and you can just feel the emotion coming out of her. And I really, if I say so myself, just perfect timing with the light coming through the window and everything. So yes, I'll pat myself on the back, but not tell you about the 38 really terrible shots that, didn't. It's the one, right, we'll focus on. So the one just really captured a moment of stillness and wonderment. And you can see the pain on her face. And it's still at the stage to talk about it. I just love it. So I took it down to the art center, and I left it. And when I did, some of the folks who were checking in, who clearly had been volunteering there for years, were just going over the moon over it. And I was just so excited and encouraged, because they called people over and they're like, you have to, wow, look at this, wow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting in this, I can't believe it. So you drop it off, and I left, and just giddy, if you will, left and came back for the opening that was going to be in a few days. And when I showed up for the opening, I was looking around. I don't see Rachel anywhere. And come to find out, I didn't make it in. So that was a moment where I was feeling really, really vulnerable. Art, a lot of times, especially the ones that you know and love, are a lot like your kids. There's really no ugly ones. They can annoy you or whatever, but at times you love them no matter what, and they're yours. So sometimes it may be a little hard to understand why somebody else may not have appreciated as much as you. So anyway, I took my piece, I picked it up, and as I was walking out the door, this amazing lady came bounding out of the office, and she was like, oh my gosh, it's that piece, we haven't put it up yet. And I was like, what? She goes, that piece. And I said, no, it didn't make it. It was in the, she said, what? What do you mean it didn't make it? I said, it just didn't make it into the show. She looked at the back, she verified. She goes, oh my gosh, I can't believe we were all talking about it. She goes, hi, I'm Darcy. I'm the executive director of the Chester County Art Association. So if nothing else, it made me feel so much better. And then she encouraged me and she said, leave it. We've got it in a Starbucks show that you can put it up in Starbucks in Westchester. I don't know if you've ever noticed the art there, but you can go and see it. And it rotates every couple of months. So I was very, very honored and felt much better that at least somebody else connected with the piece of artwork as well. So I left it. I waited a couple of days until I knew that it was going to be hanging up in there. And like every shy artist, I went and had to go take my picture with my art hanging in Starbucks. So I go through the door, and I was really excited to see, because all the art was up, and whereas before is nothing but wires, as I only drove by 8, 9 times, you know, to see if the art had been put up yet in Starbucks. So you can tell I was a little excited. So I couldn't find Rachel again. So I'm looking around, and I didn't see her, and then finally I did. And I went, you've got to be kidding me. Rachel was, and it's a large photograph, by the way, was prominently displayed, honestly, at one of the absolute best locations in that particular Starbucks for the size of my photo. Unfortunately, it was in between the bathrooms. So if you're ever at that counter, just look to the left. There's another piece of art there now, but that's where Rachel was. Men, women. So after everything that I had been through and everything that had kind of gotten my heart a little bit, I was still very proud to see the artwork up. Its location was still in question for my own taste. But anyway, being a good brand new artist, happy to welcome himself into the world with a little pat on the back, I still took my picture next to my piece of art. You know, the typical face in the art. So anyway, I went home, I tweeted, I tumbled, I did everything with it. And I will tell you, there was one person who was great. He's a real Westchester native and advocate as well, made a point to go down to Starbucks and see it. And not only did Jim Breslin make a point to tweet about seeing my work of art, some of you may have received the one as well, where he said, you know what? That is a beautiful photograph. Best seat in the house.